all of our lectures. Kind of screwed yours up, I think, last time, so I just posted the night classes. But those will be available. I emailed you guys all a link to one of my videos, and from there you can subscribe. I can't post it on Canvas because I don't have them all closed captioned, but if you subscribe to my channel, then you can look at the playlists, and the playlists will be lectures. So this one will be called 2.2, and there'll be like 3 or 4 videos in there, depending on how they break up. Okay, so let's take a look. Before I get started too, I do want to point out, so this is totally fine for a binder as well, as long as it has three ring holes. You can totally use that. You don't have to have a whole binder, but you do need to have something to keep all the papers I give you in. Okay, good. Did anybody not get the chapter 2 notes? Is there our chapter 2 notes that look like this? Anybody else not get them? Okay. The other thing I want to mention is, don't forget the Smart Shops at Las Positas. If you attend 2 Smart Shops, you get 1 point extra credit on your exam, on your next exam. Who has heard of Smart Shops before? Who has never not heard of them before? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and touch this, do this then.
Covering a variety of topics geared toward helping you become a better student. A series of workshops led by experienced Las Positas College faculty members covering a variety of topics geared toward helping you become a better student.
The Smart Series workshops were really helpful, not only because the instructors were really supportive and helpful when you were in need of more explaining.
Well, I started coming just for extra credit. But once I started coming, I actually was able to do more work than I would if I was just sitting at home. And I got help, and I have people ask questions.
I covered a variety of things, not just school.
I thought it was great. Gave me a few tips and tools that I could use to read by myself at home or, on campus somewhere.
My favorite workshop was integrating competitions. It was really helpful. I learned essays and writing and works citation.
I entered the transfer focus workshop. It was really helpful at the end of the meeting itself. We were able to actually have the counselor walk around and help us out with our individual schedules.
I was really unmotivated in math. It was right before the drop deadline, so I was debating with myself whether I wanted to drop it or not. But he helped motivate me, and I stuck it out, and now I have a B+ in trig.
It was a really great experience.
Those workshops actually helped me the most.
The workshops are really important. Yeah, overall they were really great.
All right, so those are those. And there are a couple calendars in the back, also that are posted on Canvas. Next thing I want to talk about is if you have taken Math 40 before, and you have purchased and used Connect Math before, or purchased it and put it in, you do not need to buy it again. If it gives you this message about your license is expired, you need to buy it again, you don't. We worked out an agreement with the publisher where they will extend it. You just have to email me your name, your username, and your email that you used for Connect Math, and I will get them to extend it. Just use the free trial in the meantime. Okay, good. And then, we talk about projects A and B. Perfect. Got this. And go to Canvas. So in Canvas, you'll notice that if you click on this one first, the board with PDFs, And you can look at all the ones for each of our dates. Last class was January 14th. We covered chapter 1.1. So that is everything that we covered in class, as I wrote down. The things that I wrote in there are all in there. I didn't write a whole lot last class, but still, all the notes that I took on there, they'll be there. You will also notice, if you go down a little bit further, is Project Math 40. So if you click on this part 1, that's where you find all these things. Here is instructions for our first lab, part 1A. And I think I have it here already. So this kind of walks you through it all. But we'll kind of go through it now briefly anyways. We need to get a sample. So what we're going to do is have each of you collect 4. So we're going to make this large. We have a survey of like 30 questions. You are each going to ask 4 people. You can be one of those 4. Ideally a student if possible. Not in this class, right? Because if you're answering and the person next to you answering and you ask each other, then all of a sudden we just have ourselves duplicated over and over again, and that's not useful. So 3 people not in this class, ideally students. How to do it is you're going to go to Canvas and you're going to download the Word file survey questions doc, which is a Word file. If you can't open the Word file, then you can use the text file instead. That's fine. And then open your Chrome browser. Google Forms, Google owns Chrome, so they work really well together. So open up Chrome and go to www.google.com/forms. And then you might need to sign into Google or create a Google account if you don't have one to be able to access it. But then you click on this big plus sign here to start a new form. And where it says untitled form, it'll say that untitled form right here. Type in Math 40, Survey Math 40 and whatever your name is. And then here under untitled question, you're going to open up your doc file, which is, right here, and should make it bigger. And you're going to cut and paste. So left click, drag, and then Control C to copy it, and then you're going to go over to here under untitled question, and you're going to paste it in there. You have to include the number. So when you highlight this, you have to copy and include the number. If you don't include the number, I need all eyes here, guys, everybody here. You have to include the number. If you don't include the number, it's really hard for me to grade them. Here's the issue. If you leave a question off or duplicate a question, then when we merge all of these, if they're not in the exact same order as each other, then under age, it'll go 23, 25, 19, 14, and then yours going to come in green, blue, purple, right? It's not going to be, the data is not going to match up. So it's really important we have the exact same order of these, which is why you have to include the number when you cut and paste these. That way I can double check easily to make sure that you haven't missed one, because it's really easy to miss one or duplicate one. Okay, so we've kind of covered that. Then click where it says multiple choice. Click on this little arrow here and pick short answer. So the very top option, it'll give you this menu here, pick short answer. And then go down to the next one. If you kind of go down to this, kind of where it has a double file here, it says duplicate when you hover over it, duplicate it, and then put in the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Do that for all the qualitatives. With the quantitatives, remember qualitative is qualitative L, label, quantitative N, numerical. So the first 15 questions will be qualitative questions, categorical questions. The last 15 will be numerical questions, quantitative questions. For those ones, you're going to do all that stuff the same, but then you're also, in addition to having a short answer, you're going to click on these three dots here, and you're going to make the data numerical. So you're going to click on response validation, All these instructions are in Canvas. You can just pull this up and be reading it as you do it. So don't worry about it. It's all going to be right there with you as you're doing this. You're going to pick response validation here, and then it's going to give you an option. Click on this and make it greater than or equal to, and it automatically assumes 0, I think, so we're good on that one. See what it says required here? Do not say required on. Leave it off. You want that to be grayed out, because there'll be some spots where we have a question of how many classes are you taking. If they're not a student, they should not answer that at all. So they need to be able to not respond to some of the questions. Okay, so leave that off. Make sure you do not have, so if you read and don't skip anything, you're going to be fine. If you just kind of like jump, and just go to the pictures, then you could be in trouble. You guys see what I'm saying? There's not a whole lot. I didn't write extra words. I hate typing, I hate writing. So I didn't write anything extra. That's what you really need. You alternatively may have options that look like this, but you probably won't. No one last semester had them out of 130 people, so I think we'll be all right. When you're done creating all 30 questions, double check to make sure you have all 30 and they're in order. You can tell because they're all numbered. And also make sure that they all say short answer, not multiple choice, because a lot of times it defaults to that. You can see it right here. It should say short answer and not multiple choice. Multiple choice would look like that. But again, like I said, it's there under step 7. Once you have that, then you can send it to me. I need to check it before you send it out to everybody else. So to send to me, you can click on the send button over here, which is right there. And that will bring up this menu. You're going to send via email. And also, this collect email address, leave that off. Because if you put that on there, then it's going to give you an extra column. And again, it's going to scoop your data compared to everybody else. So don't click on that one. Just send the email and then put in my email address, ayoung@lascasitascollege.edu in there. And then also, I do need this. So the red circle things I need. Include form and email. Click on that. So this, whenever I circle something in red, that means do that. Right? Those are kind of the important things. So include that. That way I can grade it really quickly. It'll take me just, literally less than a minute to grade it. I've got, I don't know, like 120 of you, so I need to be able to do it quickly. If you don't click on that, then I've got to go through a few minutes, and that's like 6 or 7 hours. I don't want to, I'll bounce that back to you, actually, is what I'll do. So make sure you have that, and you click on that. And then once I get it, I can just glance through it quickly. If you click on that, especially I can do it on my phone even, and I can even look at that, and I can respond pretty quickly and say, looks good, you're good to go. And if I say looks good or great, whatever, then you can send it out to your 3 people. Otherwise, I might say, oh, well, not a bad start, but you need to fix this or that or the other, and then resend it to me. So if I say fix and resend, then that means you got to fix whatever that is. Like you left out this, or you doubled that, or you did something else. And then send it back to me so that I can make sure it's right. Because it needs to be right before you send it out, or else you might have to clear out your form and redo it, which is a big pain in the butt. And you don't want to do that. All right. So once I tell you that everything's good, send it out to your 3 people using that same method. You can either email it to them, or you can text it to them by clicking on the text link. So then you copy the link and then you can text it to them. Or if you want to do it on paper, you can just print the Word file, hand it to them, get it back from them, and you can just input it yourself. That works fine too. Okay. Also, when you do email it to me, if you can include your section time, you guys are 5 o'clock. That way I know where to find you later when I go to input your grade for this. Okay. Cool. All right. Any questions on this? No questions at all? All right, so that's due on Wednesday, midnight. You're emailing it to, just email it, get it done and email it to me by midnight on Wednesday. Okay, let's take a look at the quiz. Our X values are independent variable is weight. Our y value, our dependent variable, is fuel consumption, miles per gallon. What might you be able to find? Why do you think someone would bother doing this survey? Why would they end up, doing a study like this? Any ideas? Yeah.
To purchase a vehicle, knowing, what's the miles per gallon.
To kind of get information about vehicles, that's true. What else? Why particularly do they care about the weight compared to the miles per gallon? Yes?
They want to see if a lighter weight will give you better miles per gallon.
Yeah, to see if a lighter weight leads to less fuel consumption and more miles per gallon, right? Or if you're heavier, do you get worse fuel consumption? Do you get fewer miles per gallon? So that's something that's pretty common to see. There's some sort of relationship there. So that's kind of one of the reasons why we do things like this. This one, level of measurement. Miles of road that you have traveled. So, I am here. Minute starts right now. How many miles have I traveled? 0. Does 0 miles really mean I have not gone anywhere at all?
No.
In this past 15 seconds?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I've really gone nowhere. So 0 miles traveled really means none. Do you guys kind of follow me? So, is this nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio?
Ratio.
Yeah. I guess I should ask a couple more questions. Is traveling 10 miles more than traveling 5 miles?
Yes.
Is traveling the distance from 5 to 10 the same as distance from 10 to 15? Yes, so it's also interval. And then we also, since the 0 really means 0, really means none, then it's also ratio. So in order to be ratio, you have to pass all the other tests. It's kind of a progressive. Nominal, everything's nominal. But if things go in order, then it's ordinal also. If all the intervals are the same, that makes it interval as well. And 0 really means none. If it's a true 0, then it's ratio as well. So this one's ratio. Years in which presidents were inaugurated. All right, so let's start with 2000, 2004, 2008, 2012, 2016. It will be 2020. So let's ignore. I'm just going to put a caveat in here. Ignoring when presidents were assassinated or impeached and we had to pull in a vice president. Okay, just ignoring that. Then they are inaugurated every 4 years. So if we look at these years, are they in order? Does this one come after that one, and this one come after that one, and this one come after that one?
Yes.
Okay, so they're at least ordinal. Are they interval? Is the amount of time from here to here the same as the amount of time from here to here, and the same as the amount of time from here to here? Yes? Okay. Then the last one is, so it's at least interval. Now we're going to look at ratio. Does year 0 really mean the beginning of time? No. So 0 doesn't mean that's the start of things. It's like here's now, here's the year 0, way over there is the beginning of time. So 0 is not the beginning. It doesn't mean none. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's not ratio. Does everyone kind of follow that? Yeah.
So for true 0, we were thinking either you're president or you're not. So then the true 0 would be...
Yeah, but we're only talking about the years. We don't care about the presidents at all. We only care about the years. So we're focused on the years.
But you can be a president for 0 years, and that's true 0.
Oh, no. Not the years that someone is president. The years that presidents were inaugurated.
So just the number...
Yeah, just the year itself. The year 2000. Do you see what I'm saying? So yeah, I can see where that gets confusing. So let's look at this in terms of the date year that they were inaugurated. So look at the date year they were inaugurated. Then, would it be interval or would it be ratio? Then it would be interval and not ratio. Okay, cool. And yeah, so we just want to make sure you understand the concept of this. Maybe this is not a great example, but it's one the book gave us, so there you go. Favorite animals. This can be interpreted two ways. I'm going to go with the first interpretation. My favorite animal is an elephant. What's your favorite animal?
Fox.
What's your favorite animal? A what?
Cat.
A cat? What's your favorite animal?
Dolphin.
Dolphin? What's your favorite animal? A what?
A dog.
A dog. Okay. Now, is elephant higher ranked than fox or dog? No. So this one would just be what?
No.
Nominal. Great. Now, if you said, well, my favorite animal is a fox, or sorry, is an elephant. My second favorite animal is a cat. My third favorite animal is a panther.
That's how I thought.
My fourth favorite animal is a llama. Then, if that's how you interpreted it, then it would be ordinal. Right? Like elephant's way up here. Then there's cat. And then right after cat's penguin. Or, it kind of goes, right? So it can kind of be like that. So then it would be ordinal, depending on how you interpreted it. So this is different people's favorite. And this would be my top 5. Is that clear? So if you're looking at your top 5, then that's ordinal. Yeah?
So in the exam, would we have to answer it like that?
Nope. This is not going to be on exam at all. It'll only be in the homework.
Okay.
And on the exam, I really try to keep really clear, non-fuzzy examples. But fuzzy examples are kind of good in practice because then you guys can kind of see the different ways and the difference between them a little bit better. And then another good reason to have fuzzy examples here is because sometimes your homework has fuzzy examples. That kind of help you sort out those a little better. Because if the homework were unclear and you did it one way, then you can say, oh, maybe they went that, and you could kind of do it the other way. There'll be a couple spots where your homework is strange, so we'll do them in class on purpose. Ratings of hotels. We can all agree that a 2-star is better than a 1-star, 3 stars better than a 2-star, 4 stars better than a 3-star. Yes? Okay. However, the difference between a 1-star and a 2-star, is that the same difference as between a 4-star and a 5-star? No. The difference between a 1-star and 2-star is very small. I mean, it's like total pit, dangerous to be in, versus has a somewhat clean bed. Right? And then over here, the difference between a 4-star and a 5-star is like, people, I don't know, scatter rose petals on the floor as you walk before you walk or something. I mean, it's really, there's a big difference between a 4-star and a 5-star. So, it's definitely nominal, it's definitely ordinal, but I would argue that it's not interval because the distance between two things are not the same. And even within 1-star, there's a range of 1-stars. There's a range of 2-stars. So even within that, between a 1-star and a 2-star, it's not always the same distance. Okay, so everybody all right with that part? Answer is ordinal. Questions? Do you guys need a second to talk to your neighbors, check with your neighbors about these? No? Yes? No. Okay, moving on. This is more important. Discrete and continuous. So this will absolutely be on the exam. Lobster tail is randomly selected. It's found to have a weight of 5.34 ounces. Do we count weight or measure weight? So is this discrete or continuous? Continuous. However, if you argue that we have rounded to the nearest hundredth of an ounce, and we have discretized this continuous data to be discrete, and you make that argument, and you say, well, because you round to the nearest hundredth, it's discrete, that would be okay, right? So on the exam, If you say continuous, you can just say continuous, you're good. If you say discrete, you have to tell me discrete because it's rounded to the nearest hundredth. Do you understand? Why? Because in general, weight itself is something we measure. So weight in general is continuous. This particular example, you could argue that it's discrete because it's rounded. Cool. Amount spent on textbooks this semester. Amount spent, is that something you count or something you measure?
Count.
Yeah, money is something that you count. So then is it discrete or continuous? Discrete. Good. Fastest speed of a race car.
Continuous.
Why is it continuous?
You measure speed.
Because you measure speed. Good. Any questions on that? Do you guys want 30 seconds to check in with your neighbors? Yeah.
Why is money discrete? You can have fractions of the same.
You can have fractions, but between $1 and $2, there's only a fixed amount. There's 99 possibilities. $1, $2, $3, $4, $5.
What I'm saying is you can have fractions.
Fractions are fine. You can say that that's discrete if you round it to the nearest hundredth. You can have decimals. The question is, can the decimals go on forever and ever? So I can't have 1.00111 cents. I can't have that.
Well, you can actually.
Not on textbooks. Could you possibly spend?
But I meant money specifically.
Right, but can you spend?
I understand the answer to the question.
Right.
I'm just asking for money.
Right. So in theory, if you're going to go with values of a stock or something like that, then you might be able to get to fractions and decimals and out that way. But in terms of this class, we're going to simplify it and just say money that you can spend. And you can't spend in the United States using US dollars. You can only spend to the nearest penny. You can't walk into someone and say, this costs 3.5 cents. You can't do that here.
What about online transactions?
If it's in US dollars and it's to the whole penny, then you can't. I mean, you can't go to Amazon, right? So we're going to go with online transactions at Amazon to the nearest penny. Yeah. So we're gonna keep it simple. Now, I mean, you can always find these convoluted. Well, if certain cases, right? But let's not do the extreme oddball cases. Let's keep it general knowledge 98% of the time. Okay. We looked at those already. This is where we left off. Let's have, go to the back. Allison, go ahead and read. Allison O. She's on. Allison O Yang. She stepped out. Mahika H. Go ahead, read.
In an experimental study, the researcher conducts an experiment where he tries to see how one variable affects another variable. The independent variable is the one being manipulated, changed in specific ways. It is also called the explanatory variable because it explains why the dependent variable is the way it is. It is the cause, not the effect. The dependent variable is the one that is affected by the independent variable. It is also called the outcome variable since it is the outcome of the effect of the independent.
Great. The independent variable, that's the one that you can mess with. You do an experiment, the one that you mess with and change, that's your independent variable. The dependent variable is the one that's affected by however you change the independent variable. So independent variable is your X. That's one you go in and you mess with. You put people in different groups, or you give them different drug amounts. The Y variable is your dependent variable, the one that's affected by whatever you change X to. Let's get someone reading this part. Allison O, go ahead and read.
I started to clean out undergrads, open YouTube groups, and have them once a day do behind scenes everything that we studied. One group was then told to do your best, while the other was told to try to increase your number every day by 10%. After 4 days, the first group
So, try to figure out, first of all, what the two variables are. In other words, what two things do you know about each person? What two things are you asking yourself about each person? And then, which one's the independent variable, the one you kind of mess with, and which one's the dependent variable? The one's affected by how you change the first one. So with your neighbors, 30 seconds, go.